Alright, what is going on YouTube? This is Kai. We're back with another video, and yes, today we'll be doing another deck profile that is requested by a friend of mine and viewers that comments on the previous videos of the Finspeed Snake Eyes, which is Tenpai Dragon. And as soon as the banlist dropped that day, my friend Nicholas and I already tested with the post banlist Tenpai. We found out that the reason not only because of the field spell limited due to immunities, but also the brute force of getting killed guaranteed by 6k like 3 times is quite absurd. Yes, the field spell hits a lot, and also not to mention that there's several things hit as well, is that the Kaiser Colosseum force your opponents to make their they slow play their momentum in our fields, which is like kind of absurd plays in my opinion, because like Tenpai you guarantee kill regardless with any of the 1-card starters, and Kaiser Colosseum allows you to stall that even more, which is really like, I would say unfair, but it is what it is. We have a lot of fields that does that, example like Game Puppets. So today we'll be talking about the post-banlist deck profile based on the environments recently we encountered, like the Finspeed Snake Eyes, JUL, Voice, etc. These are the common deck that will be available, or should I say, people will be starting to play, especially like they get nothing hit on the banlist, and Colossus is here, so yeah, everything is good. So without further ado, let's go into the profile first. Alright, for starters of the deck, we have the very simple lineup, which is the 3 white, 3 Hydra. You have to play 3 now. Previously, you probably saw a few lists that only played 2, but now you need 3 because you need more. On summon gets you to things you wanted, so 3 is the correct number. And the 3 Chandra, of course, beginning of the damage step, you can summon a Tenpai monster from the deck. Cannot be Ash, which is really important, which is also the 1-card starters, because him alone can get you to a lot of things. And the 2 offs, the 2 green and the 2 yellows. You need to play 2 now because you have a lot of ways to search, yet a lot of search is get you to 1-card starter as well. This is one of it. And this is the one you don't want to draw on your opening hand. And while this is fine because it still gets you to something, although you still lose to Ash, but it's still like they wanted to play. And the addition will be 2 Dra. This is like the Snake Eye Ash of the decks. When normal summon, you get it to search at level 4 or lower. Fire attributes Dragon, and the second effect is relevant. You get to flip the top deck. If it's a monster, you gain 1000, doesn't matter. With this, you get to search this or search these. These are your search targets, because whenever you search, you want them to summon now for free. This gets you there. And the last addition of the monster is Magnet. This is very crucial now. If you like notice, this card not only interrupts the light and dark plays for like Finsmiths, the Voice, Tachyons, Melodious, etc. This card does a lot. That's why it's been limited. I wish I can play more of the Bestials, but playing other Bestial doesn't benefit much. That's why there's no reason for you to play much. And for the hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Maxis. These are the standard ones. And for the more like optional ones or situational choice, I play 3 Veiler, 2 Shifters, 2 Bell, and 3 Drolls. And the reason for that is because Veilers is not once per turn. You have a lot of ways to like hit difference, and that's why you play this. And Ghost Bell is to prevent these from being called by, because if you have noticed the meta game right now, if you play Shifters, a lot of decks loses to Shifters, and people like attempt to call by it. If you like activate Shifters, they call by, you have some things to like prevent them from call buying the Shifters. And also, if Shifter resolve, almost 80% of the decks forced to pass turns because they can't do a lot like on their field. They have to like grave relevance. And also the reason why you need to play Shifter is you can dodge the call by with Magnum as well. If you like risking, these on your hands, if you're risking on getting call by, you can wait until they normal summon a monsters first, then you change shifters, and if they call by, you have their monster on the field, this becomes a quick effect. You can banish your shifters to dodge the call by, which is also an interaction, and it grants you the end phase of search a dragon from deck or graveyard. So you get to search whichever you want. You can search this, and when this card is added by card effects, you get to special summon it. And if you don't want to tribute summon it, if you want to tribute for summon another Tenpai from deck, you can just leave it there, and next turn you get to guarantee free level 10 synchros. But if you does, this card can tribute itself during the end phase, and you summon the white, you get to search, because during the end phase, if your opponent can't Vader it, and if they ash, they probably just ash this one. And if they don't, you still bait out the ash, and also they can't call by this, because unless they leave it to the hand, if they already set their back rows and pass, if they don't call by, probably they like set the call by and pass like normal of us would do. And if they did, you get the tribute this, they can't call by it, this is something that's different. And get to search a few spell. If they have anti-spell fragrance, you you suspected they have back rows, they have anti-spell fragrance, you can tribute this, summon this, and then set the few spell. The few spell is gonna be live next turn. So yeah, it's also one of the great interruption, like really, I would say very innovative interactions with Magnum mode, which is also why the reason this card is quite limited. Can't really imagine this card have 3 in our list. That would be like a whole different story. And so for the monsters, there's a lot of monsters, like a lot of hand traps. Like you need hand traps to stop in this format, especially against the format that a lot of decks that 1 or 2 hand traps can't beat combos. Like a lot of things happens with the hand traps, combos, interactions, etc. And you need, sometimes you even do it the math, like you need the numbers of drawing 2 hand combination of 2 correct hand traps to stop a combos. It's like, why need to draw 2 hand traps when sometimes just this or this is enough? Especially against the Fire King matchups is enough. And also against Snake Eyes, if they play the Fiend Speed variant, they have summon, search anything, so you drop this, and they have a combination with like these or even these. It's more possible to stop their combos than just 1 hand traps. Although this may be just 1 card enough to stop them, but we can't guarantee draw it at the very first turn, so we need something else to like support our objective. So that's why we need to play a ton of monsters and a ton of hand traps, and that's the reason. And for the spells, the field spell get limited is not only because of like the deck gains main phase 1 immunity, which is already insane, and also this prevents the decks from getting 6k 3 times with the tridents. So we're having this, of course, is much better. And also if you have this, it's mostly bait a lot of things. It bait ash, bait ogres, there's a lot of battles, which is why we need to be cautious. But if we have this, if we activate it, if we resolve, it resolve. We mostly just OTKs regardless. Even without this, if your opponent's field is empty, you go by the trident, it's still OTK. So. And the main deck, I play 3 droplets, because in this environment, any decks that going first and their end board is like vulnerable or can't sustain due to the forbidden droplet is gonna get eliminated, in my opinion. Because you want to make a board or you want to make interactions, like even after droplets, you still get to like survive something. So if they don't, you just punish it, especially against Voiceless Voice or like Melodious. Melodious is like more difference because they have a lot of monsters, so you need to clear 1 by 1, which is a lot. Against Voiceless Voice or like the Mirror Match, Droplet is like really good because you can activate during the damage step. So even if they summon things that they can't destroy by battle or cannot have on or something, you chain this, you send a lot of things, and then you just go past by them. And like I mentioned earlier, you have a lot of 1-card starters, so the extra hand, if we can just ditch for like the droplets, this is fine as long as you get the kill. Like go second, get the turn, explode, not grindy. You can grind, but there's no reason for you to grind. The only grind you need is like going first. Your opponent forces you to going first, you need to grind. That's what you need with this. And 3 Sangen open. This card is like Bonfire 2.0 but with quick spell. So yeah. And for the last card is Triple Impermanence, which is a card that a lot of decks nowadays get hit they can't do anything about it. And this is still hand trap, so that's all for the main deck 41s. Okay, for the extra deck part, I'm gonna be explaining here because due to some technical difficulties, and I didn't show it on the previous part. So here's the extra decks. So first up is the extra decks for the super poly targets, the Mud Dragon and Garuda. These are the basics. Although Garuda can be super poly if your opponent have 2 Colossus, so this is fine to be here, but you can super poly these Thunder Dragons if they like end on the Colossus and then extra links like IP or SPs. So this is gonna be punished for that. So these are the super poly targets. And for the Tenpai OTK stuff, the basics will be the 2 level 7s and the Drakion. And Biden and Transcend, these are the basics. You can play more of this if you want, because sometimes you going first, you want to, or you going second, you want to OTKs, but something occurred and you don't have the third one, so you can have more of this. This is guaranteed to be needing 2 because you're most of the time going first. Sometimes you wanted this because it says if third battle is declared during other player's turns, you can submit to the graveyard and pop a spell trap. This is either player's turn, so even though it's once per deal, you can still gotta use it. So that's why you needed the 2. And for the other variants, I played the Destroy Samurai. This is for the voices, or the when battles there's something effect activates during the battle phase or during the damage step. So this is for that to occur. And if you battle the voice Skull Guardian, it becomes the original attack instead of 4001. So that's why I play this. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst in case we can't achieve Transcend during the main phase. And Trident for decays, for keeping it simple. Black Rose Dragon for burning up the whole field because it's fire dragon, so your field spell is gonna protect it. And the third and the fifth spot, for me, is like the flex spot. You can play whatever you want, but I choose to play the Rudy Rose Dragons. I was playing Baroness because the Baron can summon if you have the Magnamut and you search for the new tuner. So for the free Baron, or you can play this. Actually, either is fine. This is for the Fire Kings. You banish up everything, their resource in the graveyard. They can't do anything. For links, Heretic Seal, this is mandatory now, especially under shifters. You have this. They can't break this. Even if they impermit, you can still pay the cost, but doesn't bounce anything. And also, if under shifter this card is banished, they can't call by it. They can only ash it. So it grants you free monsters, and you're definitely gonna leave a turn if you summon Chandra and summon the green, white, whatever you want. That's why you play to going first without worrying did not draw the heat wave. You can always rely on this. And the rest are the extra package for SPs, Heater, and the Promethean for extra pop, and also bring back the correct fire attribute for decays. So that's all for the extra deck. Yeah, sorry guys for the sudden change of channel because of the extra deck stuff. Yeah, now we're going back to here. Now we're going to the side decks, and for the side decks I play 2 Nibiru, and I done in my math that against certain decks like heavy combos, your deck's still vulnerable to Nibirus. After your multi combination of hand traps, yes, you do stop them from being comboed that far or getting full combo a lot of things, but with the combination of Nibirus, you're forcing their field to be empty, and you have more easy ways to like run through their fields, because even the token is like 100,000 attacks, you have ways to pop it. And remember to leave your buy draw on the field so you take 0 damage. And also, yeah, just remember that. And also important against the Fire King or any Fire decks. You Nibiru them, they leave the tokens on the field, and their Promethean is in the graveyard. They can't pop their tokens to come out if they don't summon any monster for that is not Fire attribute. So yeah, this is needed it. And 2 Crows and 1 Ogre. This is the last one. Crow is like the next best thing aside from the Vicious, because like against Grave, 2 rely on Grave like the Fiendsmith or the Voiceless Voice. This is the go-to cards you need to see in your opening hands. You like want to banish the low, you want to banish the Fiendsmith, you don't want to get them like summon out too fast. You don't want to like crow the Luri because it doesn't benefit much. The main reason is it defeats me because of his level 6. You can summon twice, so that's why you need the crow. And ogres is for the like face-up matchup against like something like Yubel. You want to pop their you want to put the continuous spell or the field mirror to pop the field or put the monsters. Pop the monsters is crucial because we know how important our monsters is. And against Snake Eye, those probably not that good, but yeah, this is what it is. And also against our Rescue Ace as well. If like the basic combos, they want to make like 2 monsters on the graveyard so they can like summon Turbulence. You can DD Crow one of it so they can't like have that much also they want it in the graveyards. And I play Super Poly for this instead because like I wanted to do something clearing the board, while combination with some of the hand traps you can still get the job done. And your Super Poly targets like the Garuda, yes, maybe not that good, but if you like Super Poly into the Mud Dragon, you have like your self-walking field spells like the Carrying the Fire, all of these are protected anyways. So this is a like good board breaker against like the Yubels. Snake Eye is not that great if they know how to play around it. Rescue is if they leave the Turbulence and Hydra on the field, they're gonna get Super Poly because they wanted to have Rescue Ace monster on the field in order to resolve their trap cards. So if you Super Poly this during the draw phase, they're gonna have to use their alert or their rescue to try to search a monster or even emergencies. So by doing so, they need to have another card in order to have monsters on the field. And with that being said, after you Super Poly, they activate the rescue, the summon from the graveyard. You have these to have as their answers. So that's why you needed this. And the triple Cosmic, Heavy Storm, and Duster, I play max of the back row removal because this deck loses heavily to back rows, like especially you have nothing inside that is you can't foresee anything of the back row because like a lot of decks play like combos or etc. Unlike Rescue Ace, you know what their back rows is. Against the decks that doesn't play back rows, like heavy combos, Fire King, Snake Eyes, you don't know what their back row is, especially Voices one because they are also 1-card combo. If they resolve like the 1 card and they set like the back row, you want something like to force out the things that you don't know. Even if it's Dimensional Barrier, you still force it out better than you like fell into the holes of you can't pull back due to Dimensional Barrier, you already overextend. So you want this like to clear as much as possible. The floodgates, anything lingering, you just want to clear it. Again, even after Dimensional Barrier, you open this to clear their back rows. You can still like summon a few things that even Link plays, like Heretic Seal or anything to like break off. Even with Barrier, you have these like wall breakers that grants you monsters, still grants you protection. So it's fine to clear as much as possible so you can grind to this. And this is what I mentioned for grinding, because if against Dimensional Barrier, that kind of things, you still need to grind like 1 or 2 turns if it happens that frequently. And combination with this as the back rows hits, because you still need the win button. I chose not to play the main deck because against the main deck, the only imperm stuff mostly we like get hit is the impermanence. So I tried like maybe the side deck first. If you want, this is the 41st card. So like with doing so, you can put 2 ogres or 3 crow, whichever is fine. And the last 2 cards I play in the side deck is the Change of Hearts and Tactics. I was thinking of 2 Change of Hearts. Like most of the player in Japan, they play like 3 Change of Hearts because you want to bait out IP, you want to bait out Snake Eyes, Rescue Ace, the Fire King, etc. I thought about it, but it came to my mind when I realized that yes, Change of Heart does break a lot of things, but what if we against the deck that cannot be targeted, like the Voiceless Voice or Melodious, they can chain in order to like dodge these. So I play one of the tactics. It's almost like this Change of Hearts, but you have difference. You have like draw 2 for in case. You have like the see your one opponent's hand just in case. Like also your opponent force you to go first, you can set this in this, right? It's fine because you get to like see your opponent's hand, so you can prepare like what they're up against, and you have like maybe you have tons of hand traps, and you can like grind through what have in their resources they have during the next turns. So that's why I played 1 Change of Hearts and 1 Tactic Talent. Change of Heart, yes, you bait out IP, you bait out SP, this as well, you better that kind of things. And you also the funny interaction is against Snake Eyes. If they like don't use their flame bird to summon out their IP during the draw phase or the standby phase, because they're afraid that they will get imperm, so their IP is gonna start at the bottom. They probably do it in the main phase, but during the main phase you can summon, you can straight activate Chain of Hearts, target the flame burst. If they chain the IP to come out, and then you take control of the flame bird. If they don't deal with the flame bird, you still like one card to against their cards. If they like have the Appaloosa, you still bait negatives. If they IP into the SP to banish out their flame bird, which is even better. They banish their own flame bird, like even better than what we expected. So that's why these are the good ones. I wish I can play more, but yeah, the voiceless voice make me realize that you can't play all Change of Hearts. You need to have something like that is non-target to remove them. So you have these, and these. These are the non-target removals. Of course, with a combination of stuff, like you want to super poly and become a mud dragon, and they have the ritual spell in the graveyard to banish to summon out another ritual monsters if their ritual monsters leave the field with the opponents. You have combination of stuff to prevent them from doing so, which is like the Ash to respond to the spell so they can't summon from the deck, and you have Magnamut and the two crows, because once you super poly, they summon out the voiceless voice Skull Guardians. Their low is gonna trigger the graveyard, so these are preventing the low from coming back from the graveyard, so they don't have Omni negates. They don't set an extra trap at the back row to interrupts. The only thing they can search is the Skull Guardians get to search a light dragon or warrior ritual monsters, which gonna be searched for Salvaris most likely. And for Salvaris, it doesn't matter anymore, because as long as we don't target them, they're gonna have a brick on their hands. And if you want to break out the Salvaris, you have these. And also, once you're super poly during the main phase, if they summon out the Skull Guardian to search and they prevent them from lowing, and you have this is life, you can just take their Skull Guardian and it's still an extra body. You can just go from there at that point. Next, so that's it for the deck profile of Tenpai Dragons against the famously tier 1 of the meta, Snake Eyes, Fire King, Voiceless Voice, etc. So hope you guys enjoy it, and a friend of Nick's probably gonna be continuing playing this in this format, so if there are any news or any more interactions, of course we'll upload a video. And also be sure to sub to the channel and like the videos as always, and we'll see you guys next time.